Baby, is love really blind? Let's talk about it.
Alright, let's talk.
Love is blind, and it'll take over your mind. Hey, it's your girl Nurse Brook from Brook Talks podcast. And today we're going to do things on a little more relaxing note, okay? I feel like I be yelling at y'all. I feel like I be yelling at the screen, and I am going to do things a little bit differently. So if you are new here, thanks for coming in. Like, subscribe, follow the channel. That helps us to keep going, okay? That helps your girl to keep going. If you are a returning friend, thanks for coming back, okay? We're going to get deep in these Love is Blind streets. It is February the 11th at 6:17 in the morning, and I have finished watching the first 3 episodes of season 10 of Love is Blind, and we are about to talk about it, okay? But first, let's get into the tea. So in the previous Love is Blind video, we did a video on like the first looks in the season 10 cast and just talking about their professions and some of Love is Blind's historical moments as far as no marriages last season, just the different allegations that have come out against numerous characters or casts on the show, and it's looking like we're going to be headed down a similar path, and we're going to talk about why. I took notes, okay? I am a note taker. It just premiered on February 11th, which is today. Again, it's 6:19 now. I watched the first 3 episodes, but this video is going to be about episodes 1 and 2. Season 10 of Love is Blind. Episodes 1 and 2 are going to be the content for this particular video, okay? So, episode 1 of season 10 of Love is Blind starts out in the women's quarters, okay, where all of the women are together. They've already met each other, but at this point, we see Nick and Vanessa Lachey enter the chat, okay? Now, Vanessa looking good, okay? She looking good, period. Now, Mr. Nick looks like he got his dad jacket on. Now, he looks like an expensive dad. No shade. He looks like an expensive dad. But Vanessa looks good. Now, as I mentioned before in another video, you don't really see Nick and Vanessa that often. I feel like this is the only time I saw them in like the first 2, maybe 3 episodes. Don't quote me on that, okay? Don't quote me on that. It's early. I've been watching this shit for hours. But I feel like that's the only time that we saw them, which is pretty typical. So in this part of the show, it's boring to me, okay? They asking the guys and the ladies, why Love is Blind? Why are they on the show? Some of the answers were interesting, but y'all go watch that yourself, okay? But Nick and Vanessa are giving them like a rundown on how the show works, what you're there to do. The goal is to propose to someone, get engaged, and, at some point they will take them on a honeymoon. They will allow them to meet family and friends. They'll be moving in together, and then hopefully we will see some successful marriages. Hopefully. But I don't know. I don't know yet. I see some potential situations going on here, but baby, the rest might be a dud. But we're going to find out. Now, understand, this whole process is about 4 weeks. Not 4 months, not 4 years, 4 weeks, a month. So these people have to meet, get engaged, meet family, friends, go honeymoon, move in together, get married in 4 weeks. Okay? First and foremost, sight unseen until after the proposals and engagements. Then they see each other. They're not seeing each other. They are talking to each other through a wall in what they call pods. So let's get into these pods, baby. Let's get into the pods. So in this part of the video, I actually want to kind of get into the connections that are starting to form already. Okay, the first half of the video, episode 1 of season 10 of Love is Blind, is you getting to know people, and them getting to know each other in the pods, again, sight unseen. And so let's get into some of the connections that we're starting to see. Okay, so you have Victor, aka Vic, who is a 33-year-old professor of public policy. Again, remember, I took my notes, okay? I took notes. Vic, is a 33-year-old professor of public policy. He wants to be married. He's got tattoos, locks. He tall, dark, and handsome. Okay, he looks good. He looked good. I can't deny. Okay, Mr. Vic looking good. One of the ladies even said earlier in the show that his voice was like a sex operator voice, and I was crying. Okay, he's here to get his wife, to find his wife, to be married, to start a family, and I feel like at this point in the episode, Vic is asking a lot of the right questions to the ladies, especially to Christine. Okay, so we have Vic and Christine. Christine is a 30-year-old speech language pathologist. She is also ready for a hubby. She wants her Super Bowl family, her Super Bowl house where she's, entertaining people. She has her kids, is her husband, her family, friends. She wants a Super Bowl house, okay? Hearing some of the things that Christine said during her time in the pods with Vic is that she seemed to have like some, issues with her mom and dad and like their history and relationships and things like that together. And maybe not saying issues is the right thing to say, but it looks like she has some mom and dad issues, that she's getting through or have gotten through. As far as Vic, he did talk about his issues with having like an alcoholic stepfather and seeing his mom, be physically abused by that individual. So they got into some pretty deep stuff in the pods. So another connection that you're going to see in the pods is Jordan and Amber. They're both 33 years old. Amber is a nurse practitioner. Shout out to my nurses. And Jordan is in software sales, okay? Jordan mentioned earlier in the video that his friends were DMing him, like 10 friends were DMing him about the Love is Blind experience. So like, damn, Jordan, what you had going on before the show? You was single as a Pringle. I understand, I really do. He is a cook. Amber is also a foodie and loves to cook. She says she cooks for every holiday, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. She cooking, okay? Amber does have a 7-year-old daughter named Emma, which is coincidentally the name of another contestant of the show. One thing I want to say about Miss Amber, she's beautiful, she's gorgeous, but she does look a little bit older than 33. So we'll see kind of how that plays into things, or if it'll play into things at all. But she's gorgeous. I have nothing bad to say. Jordan, he looks like a teddy bear. He's like the golden retriever guy, that everybody wants, who's attentive, who, is a guy's guy, but who's also a good, character. The guys in the pods were like, hey, you're a good guy. Now, I want to continue to talk about the connections, but I want to hone in specifically on a specific connection, triangle, or maybe square. And I also want to talk about one of the guys in particular. You have Emma, who is 27 years old. She's in retail merchandising, so she said that she works for like fashion. And then you have Steven, 31-year-old, who is in finance. Now, I hate to do this to you, Steven, but this is what it is, and I'm here to report the news, okay? Your boy Steven, I actually made a video about this that I need to edit, but your boy Steven has been slapped with some very serious allegations by a young woman on social media who said that he took unconsented liberties with her and videotaped her without her consent, and among other things. And there have been multiple women, I think about 3 as of now, who have come forward and claimed other similar allegations. Now, of course, this stuff actually just came out a few days ago prior to the premiere of season 10 of Love is Blind. So it was, it's too late to take him out. It's too late to remove him from the situation. These allegations have not, stuck so far. Of course, again, it's been just a few days, so I don't even know if any charges have been filed or what's been done about that at this point. So I will keep you guys updated on that. However, Stephen and Emma, this particular part of the video, their interaction and their conversation was honestly very uncomfortable. So let me read my notes, child. I have ADHD, so I have to stay on topic. So Emma, who is 27 again in retail merchandising, she is speaking with Stephen at this point. And Emma does have multiple connections. I think she has connections with like 3 guys at some point. Stephen is one of them. So Emma's story, she has a skin deformity. You can see her left arm has some scarring. And she said her story is that she got like 10 surgeries before the age of 7 due to a skin condition / birthmark that was known to have caused melanoma and would have eventually caused melanoma, which is a skin cancer. She got those removed and she has scarring, in various areas of her body. And that is a huge area of discomfort for her, especially in the area of dating. So she wanted to come on a show like Love is Blind to kind of eliminate that physical factor, the physical appearance factor of it all, so that she can, express her personality and maybe fall in love genuinely and authentically that way. A big thing for her, Emma, in my opinion, is the fact that she doesn't really want kids, or she's on the fence about wanting kids. She's more so over the fence of not wanting to, but she also seems like she may be open to it. Emma is adopted. She is of some type of Asian descent. I don't think she may have said it, but she did not really disclose that to any of the guys, of course. She does not know anything about her birth family. She was adopted by white parents who provided her with lots of love and support. She has no desire to find her birth parents. But her concern is passing genetic issues down to a child. That is her biggest fear and worry. And while I do understand that, not empathetically, but I do sympathize with her. But there are many ways that you can look into genetic disorders and get blood testing done before you ever get with someone and get pregnant. And I highly recommend it. I mean, it's what people should be doing anyway. And of course, when you are pregnant, there are lots more things that embryo can be tested for prior to having that child. Of course, it's not a coverall. It's not, all inclusive of every single possibility, but it does give you another opportunity to make decisions based off of that. So, yeah, that reasoning behind not wanting to have kids, maybe she's not privy to that information, or maybe that's not enough for her. I don't want to, put forth judgment prior to, but that wasn't really a good enough reason to not have kids for me. But it's not my story, that's her story. She was open to adopting, so she did talk about that. But I think this topic of her not wanting to have children is going to be an interesting thing in the pods with these men who lots of them are ready to have kids, or they are, definitely know that they want to get married and have children. Now with Stephen, Mr. Stephen, 31 in finance, and his allegations that have come out prior to the show. Now, the young lady that accused him of these liberties that he took with her and videotaping her, who knows if the things are true or not. I honestly believe her from the context of the things I saw and read. However, we don't know yet. Innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. She did not take out any charges on him at the time that it happened. She mentioned that the situation happened after Love is Blind season 10 filming ended. So this was after the show ended, but she came out before the show aired. So just keep those things in mind as you start hearing news and seeing more things pop up about that situation. Steven, he's an immediate red flag. He is a walking red flag. And what I mean by that, he makes a lot of uncomfortable jokes. He is very sassy in nature, the way he talks and the way he presents himself. Emma asked him, like, if you were a magazine, what magazine would you be? And he's like, GQ. And I'm just like, Steven, are you okay? Like, let's be real. I mean, he's not like a bad looking guy or anything. It's just not giving GQ, okay? He also made like a weird comment about wanting to be like an underwear model. And Emma told him that gave her the ick. One thing I'm gonna say about my girl Emma, you're gonna hear more things about her in the video, but she is letting these guys have it. She is holding these men accountable. If they're coming and making weird passes at her, she's shutting it down. If they are trying to ask her a lot of questions about her physical appearance, she is shutting it down, as are some of the other ladies. But Emma is not playing with these fools, okay? Kudos to you, Emma. So Emma was like hinting around to or alluding to the fact that Steven has not really opened up to her. She feel like their conversations have been just like jokey jokes, silly, and they have. He's making these weird ass jokes for everything. And she's like trying to ask him some more serious questions, and he turns it around on her and was like, I'm going to put the mirror on you. Do you think you can have these deep conversations? So he still didn't go deep. And Emma is calling him out on that. Like, you're not going deep enough. And she called out another guy, I think Connor, maybe. She called him out on them having like very surface level conversations. Emma is serious. Emma is here to find her husband. She is not playing around with these idiots. She is dead serious with y'all, okay? This conversation with Steven just continues to get more and more and more creepy. So, child, the next part of this video, again, we talking about Victor, Vic, and Miss Christine, okay? They start getting real chummy, and the conversation goes off to asking each other, do they smoke? Talking about cannabis, and they both determine that they both have gone through misdemeanor marijuana charges, in their past, and they have overcome that. Neither one of them are current smokers. And so that was a huge connection piece for Vic and Christine. And then it just continued to snowball from there. So Vic and Christine is looking like a very strong connection at this time. Okay, we got Amber and Jordan. We have your girl Emma with her three dudes. Okay, Emma, period. Now we switch back over to the men's quarters, and you have Steven there, who looks like he's a little short guy. He's a shorty, okay? He's in there talking to one of the guys, and he's asking people who they are dating. He wants to know if Emma is on any of their rosters, because Emma is his number one girl. Now, although we have some creep allegations against you right now, Steven, one thing you did say that I did like He said he doesn't care. Not necessarily he doesn't care. He said he's okay with the fact that Emma does not want to have children or is on edge about that right now. He said that, we're here to find our wife. We're here to, find our ladies. We're not here to be turning someone into a baby factory. So I did like that part about you, Stephen, but that was probably the only thing that I cared for that came out of your mouth. So we are back on Emma and Stephen again, and the similar conversation came up as the last time that they were together about the fact that he doesn't really get deep. She wants to have more, intuitive conversations with him. And Stephen proceeds to tell an extremely cringe story about his first kiss. It was cringe. Then he told a very cringe story about when he lost his virginity. Now, these are the questions that he feels like are deep, and he is asking Emma about her first kiss. He's then asking Emma about when she lost her virginity, and it just turned into a worse and worse and worse conversation from there. I mean, it got so bad that Emma physically got up and left out of the date, and that concluded that date for her and her pursuing Stephen, as far as I know so far in the process. Now, mind you, Stephen's My First Kiss and My Virginity stories came after Emma had just shared with him some pretty deep and traumatic things that happened to her in her life. Again, the fact that, she was adopted, the fact that she had these 10 surgeries before the age of 7 due to these skin conditions that would cause melanoma skin cancer later in life. She was telling him about that stuff, and it made her feel really sad. And he's like, oh, are you sad? And he's like, I can get you out of that funk. I can get you out of that funk. Like, instead of like talking through it, he's like still trying to tell a joke. Okay? Stephen, this wasn't a joking matter. It wasn't a joking matter. And after that, that's when he proceeded to tell her about his first kiss and the first time he lost his virginity. And it was absolutely cringe, and you can just see the discomfort growing on Emma's face and her body language. And as she tried to like break it down with him, you can just see Stephen getting upset while she's talking. He's like making funny faces and blowing her off and doing gestures like that on the other side of the pod, on the other side of the wall, and just mocking her. You can tell that he is not used to rejection of any type. You can tell that he, tries to manipulate the conversation and the situation to benefit him and his emotions and his energy. And Stephen, that's not going to work. And it's, very telltale if those allegations about you are true, which after watching this, it's not helping you, bud. It's not helping you. So after this particular date with Stephen and Emma, after she read his ass for filth and exited out of that pod date, she went back to the women's quarters, he went back to the men's quarters, and she just burst out crying when she walked into the women's quarters. And all of the ladies were there by her side, providing support. But at this point in the video of the show, this is when Emma starts crying. And I'm going to be honest, Emma, I saw you cry in every single clip that they showed you in after this, heading into episode 2. Emma was crying every time she was on the screen. So at the end of episode 1, we have our first engagement. And it is Vic and Christine. So Vic proposes to Christine. She says yes, they are in love. They love each other. And so on episode 2 is when they are going to reveal each other. Hey you guys, so I'm in the middle of editing these videos for Love is Blind and it's getting a little lengthy. So I know I said I was going to do episode 1 and 2 of season 10, but we're actually just going to do episode 1 in this video. Episode 2 will continue in the next Love is Blind update video, okay?
Glass on my gun, I'm in my zone. Pretty with a purpose, yeah, I do